I'm gonna keep mine small so that you guys don't see the scars on my face. Okay, today's coffee chat is on stress management. We had like 11 people comment, but nobody showed up, and so we're just gonna like tell you guys tips on stress management. And if you guys have any questions, too bad you should have been here. I should have. You should have right upheld your end of the deal. So joining me are Mel and Francia and Kat. So quick intros from all of us. I'm Judy. I'm a rising senior, and I'm going to be an RA in Wilson. And I'm launching this app. Oh, we have one viewer. See, I told you. People are more likely to view it live on live stream than on Google Hangout. Hey, for the viewers, if you guys want to comment on the link, like you can join our chat right now because there's no freshmen here, and so we're not answering any questions. So if you guys have particular questions, like come on and then talk to us like face to face instead of us just talking out of like random thoughts. Okay, anyway, we're launching an app called Walla where you get to do activities with anybody who wants to do activities together. So watch out for that when you come on campus. Okay, Mel.
Hi, hey, I'm Melody. I am a rising junior. I am a head fac for Bassett Dorm, and I think I consider myself a pretty big expert on stress management because I am involved in a lot, and I spend about as much time balancing activities as I do at my actual activities. So yeah, that's it for me. All right.
All right. Hey guys, I'm Francia. I'm a rising sophomore. I'm studying neuroscience and French, and I will be an RA for Jarvis, so I'll be around on East Campus, and I'll be seeing you guys around a lot.
Hey y'all, I'm Kat. I'm a rising sophomore as well. I'm an engineer, ECE, and CBB, which is computational biology and bioinformatics, just a bunch of words. And I have a lot of really close friends on East, and I'm actually really excited just to meet all y'all freshmen. So I'll be here too, sharing just a bunch of the random facts of balancing a lot of different activities and kind of also the different interests you might be wanting to pursue in college while still managing everything in terms of academics and other stuff. I'll be here.
Yay.
Right. Okay. So let's talk about stress management. So I think the easiest way to talk about stress management is by chronological order. So like I definitely had a much different way of managing stress in my first week of class versus in my last week of class in junior year. Totally different worlds. So I'm okay. I don't really want to talk too much in this, so I'm sure like Francia and Kat and Mel have a lot to say. So Mel, how about you go ahead and
Okay.
talk about?
Yeah, stress is something no one can avoid. It just comes with like it's part of package deal of going to college. So a lot of times you have to balance like your social life and school, and so you want to be able to get your work done, but you also want to be able to like have fun because that's important. But you also want to be able to like explore new things and explore your new environment. So it's really really important to try to use a calendar. I know a lot of people don't or like a planner. A lot of people don't do that before coming to school. So it's really important to have some kind of organizational system to write down everything you have going on. That way, it's not you don't have things like surprising you, things springing on you, which just makes you stress more. So it's important to like know what your plan is. It's also important to make sure you know what you're taking on. So before you join a group or anything on campus, just make sure to kind of ask like what the time commitment level is, and make sure you do have the time for that. Because a lot of times people get involved with something without knowing how much work it really is, and then end up getting overwhelmed later on. And you don't. And when you do get overwhelmed, that's when the stress kicks in. That's when then you start struggling because when you're freaking out about one thing, you automatically start freaking about another thing, and it just kind of spirals downhill. So you want to be able to make sure you're very careful about what you're signing up for, and know exactly what you're getting yourself into, and make sure it's exactly something you can handle.
I can actually speak to that briefly because freshmen, you're probably going to have this thing called True Blue during your week in which they go through this weird random section where it seems like everyone has their life put together, but they really don't. All those kind of typical pre-talks that they're going to give you before you have actual college. But the point is, one of the actual segments of this True Blue presentation or something that you're going to have during a week, is that this girl who takes on too much to some extent, like tries to sign up for too many things and commit to too many things. And that was me first semester. I tried doing way too many clubs and just trying to balance all of it became very hectic, and then I had to end up prioritizing and really choosing what I actually wanted to spend my time in. I had multiple friends crack the joke that I was the girl from True Blue and everything, and I think that it's easy to get wrapped up in all the things that college offers and want to do it all when in reality, just like stress is inevitable, the fact that you can't do it all is going to become very inevitable very quickly. As much as it feels right now, coming from whatever high school background you are, that you can do it all, because you probably are all those types of kids, because I know everyone at Duke is that type of person. Yeah, you got to make sure that you're realistic with yourself, and it's perfectly okay to start with maybe even less than you think you can handle, and make sure you get a solid foundation of that, and then build on it. For sure.
Like, don't
add to that. Sorry, Melody, I'll be done.
You're fine. You're fine.
If you do find yourself in that position and you just have a lot going on, a ton of shit, and you just like cannot handle it at all, and you just want it to all stop, I would just highly recommend taking a nap. Even though a lot of people like to like make lists, like I personally like to make lists, but that's actually not very helpful because then you just like stress yourself out more. So if you need to, just like honestly, just like take a nap, just like remove yourself from the world for like an hour.
From the narrative. Yeah. Exclude yourself from that narrative.
Exclude yourself from that narrative, and then find the UCAE in the basement of the Bryan Center, which is commonly known as the beanbag room.
Oh,
that's second floor, not basement. Second floor.
Main floor. Okay, fine. Yeah. Second floor, whatever.
When is it there?
Yeah. As I said, also, don't underestimate how much time classes take. Because I definitely made that mistake.
Oh my gosh!
I was like, you have class, you have each class twice a week, and like you have less class time than you like half the class time you did in high school, and so you think you have all this free time. You do not.
Lies.
Somehow time has a way of sneaking up on you.
That's so freaking true.
And like you think, okay, like I get a class at 2, before you know it, it's 8. Like I don't know how it happens. It just kind of happens. So just be really careful about not letting time get away from you. So like time management is really, really important. So like yes, you do have more free time, but homework takes longer and studying takes longer. So you just want to be able to account for that when you make your plans.
Also, even I came from a high school with a block schedule, so my schedule was already very much like my college schedule ended up becoming. And as free as your day looks, because you're in class for a shorter amount of time, the outside of class work in college, completely different than in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know I was playing, so I played club soccer all of my life, and I was dedicating so many hours to that 5 to 6 days a week. And yet I still somehow found the time after school ended to do all of it. And yet in college, it's going to sneak up on you, like Melody was saying, so much more than you think. And that's not to say it to you to freak you out as much as just to prepare yourself. Don't think you're the only one feeling like you have too little time to do something. Everybody, regardless of how many commitments they have, is going to feel like that because the classwork and the schoolwork actually is more intense than you're going to anticipate.
Yeah. I think a good rule of thumb with classwork is however many hours you spend in class, devote twice the amount of hours outside of class to do that homework.
Mm-hmm. That's a good rule. It's a pretty good rule.
Pretty good. Wow. I like that.
That's what's called the thumb rule.
That is a good rule of thumb.
Where did that term come from, rule of thumbs? I never got that. I'm going to look that up.
Actually, because in medieval, I know this one. In the medieval times, men are allowed to beat their wives, but they can only beat their wives with sticks that are smaller, or not smaller, but like with the circumference that's smaller than their thumbs, which is actually a trick rule because sticks that are thinner hurt more.
Hurt more, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true. Oh my gosh, I read that somewhere too. I think it might have been a Snapple bottle or something.
And that's weird for a Snapple bottle.
Yeah. Speaking of club sports, let's talk about how to balance sports or exercise in your life. Because I know I walked onto the women's rowing team my first year at Duke, and I did that for a semester or a year and a half. And I had to dramatically change my lifestyle because of it. Because as a varsity athlete, you're expected to practice 20 hours a week. And there were a lot of things that I had to give up because of that. So, I mean, like, not a lot of people are going to walk on to the women's rowing team, or
No.
walk on and stay on. So let's talk about like more exercise in general and club sports. How do you balance that time together?
I can talk about that if y'all want, because I actually did that. So, like I said, I played soccer throughout my entire life. Like, I thought I was going to play in college and decided not to. So my next bet was like, oh my gosh, I'd love to play club soccer. So I did join for fall semester. I didn't actually end up doing it in spring semester because it depends kind of. So when you get to a club team, at least like the bigger ones, so soccer, basketball, things like that, they're going to want, and this isn't even the varsity level, and the varsity is going to be much more intense, obviously, especially considering the fact that Duke is a Division I school, and if you know anything about varsity athletics and kind of the way that like the NCAA does brackets and everything, it's an incredibly intense time commitment. Not that you can't do it as well, but exactly like what Judy was saying, you need to completely change your time management because your priorities are going to default like much differently. But the club sports are a step down, obviously. And I was on the travel team, which means that I was going to UNC and Wake Forest and everything to play against the other teams, soccer club teams there as well. And I still had a solid 3 practices a week, and then games on sometimes, usually Sundays, but sometimes also Saturdays and Sundays. And even that, because living on East, going to the practices on West, the fields were far. I had to allot like a decent even commute time to go there and back. But there are also a lot of advantages to it, and it was really enjoyable in other ways. But in terms of the time commitment, it's going to be a little more than you think it is. I think at times like you have to. Living on East is actually really big of a pain when it comes to some of those things because you are going to have to factor in going to West for those things. And I would have to go to West and then walk past Cameron down the state. Like I'd have to go. The walk itself was a 10 to 15 minute walk to the soccer fields we were playing on.
Yeah. And in terms of just going to the gym for people who like to like keep their workout, so like I try to go to gyms 4, 5, 6 times a week, just because like I think personally for my own needs, like working out, like it's good balance for me and it's a good like mental just yeah, it's very good for you, I think. So like if you're that person and you want like it's possible. Now it's not like gonna be easy to go the same time every day. Like it probably was when you're in high school and like your time was set. So like on some days you might have to go like in the morning, and other days you might have to go at night or in the afternoon. You can still keep that in there. Just still again like plan it well. So don't try to go like if you have a class that let's say your Tuesday schedule ends at 2, for example. You know. You do whatever you want to do. Like you take your break after class because that's important. Always have like a break after once class ends. Give yourself time to just decompress for the day before you just get into work or anything like that. That's very important, even if it's just 30 minutes. But try not to schedule things in between and break up your big chunks of time. So don't schedule like gym for like 4, for example, because then you have like that 2-hour break between. That's kind of an awkward break where it's like, okay, by the time you're done resting, you want to start something, but you don't have enough time to start before you end up having to go in gym or go to what else you have to do, and then you just wasted 2 hours. Yeah. Which is how time really sneaks up on you, is when you try to like you plan things awkwardly. So try to block your schedule as much as possible in terms of putting things together to form little chunks of time and giving yourself breaks. That way you're not wasting time, but you're also making the most use of your time. So if you like to go to gym, some guy do it that way. Wilson, the good thing about Wilson and Brody's, they're open till 11.
Oh yeah.
So you don't, and they open at 6:30 a.m. I think, pretty early in the morning. So you can like kind of go anytime during the day. You don't have to worry about. Do you guys hear that thunder? It's scary. Wow. It's really scary over here.
I love thunder.
I'm just hoping my car gets clean. And so you don't have to worry about like losing time in the day, and you can still like balance like you're going to the gym and like, and it doesn't destroy your schedule. So just know that that's an option for you there.
Yeah. And I would say like try to apply that same strategy with anything else you do. So like whether it's like if you want to go, study by yourself or with a friend, or if you're planning to go to office hours or whatever, try to just in general schedule your time and your life at Duke in those little like clumps that Melody was saying, because honestly is the most efficient time. That's the most efficient way to spend your time, and the best way to prevent any procrastination or like wasting your time in between classes and whatnot.
Absolutely.
So you're probably out there thinking now like, okay, so I probably didn't manage my time well or whatever, and now I'm like super stressed. How do I handle it?
Take it
Well,
out.
here's a good thing.
Francia's method. Take it out. I'm going to.
Duke has lots of resources. For one thing, there are lots of de-stressor just events planned by different groups. So occasionally there are puppies to play with, and well, they're mostly dogs. I wouldn't say puppies. They're mostly actual
They
dogs.
have little itty bitty puppies.
Yeah, but they're like pets to play with a lot of time. There are a lot of like lots of like fun free food events on campus. There's one that they do a lot during finals week. It's called Chocolate Confusion or something like that in the DC,
Yes.
and they just have like all these chocolate fountains and like all this like little like fondue stuff to dip it in, and it's really cool. So just look out for events like that where you can just take a
great
mental
tip.
break.
You reminded me of fondue. Okay, in Brightleaf Square, which is something that you will probably hear about. It's right near East Campus. Definitely look it up. There is a fondue place. This is for the girls. On Wednesdays,
Ladies' night.
ladies' night.
Yeah, it is not fair. I won $9 fondue.
It's so good. It's $9 fondue, and you get the cheese one with a bunch of different things to dip in, and the chocolate one. And you choose, and you can go in a group. It's super fun. Just throwing that out there because it's a really good event. And I've done it with a bunch of like different groups of people before, and it's always fun.
We should totally do that on Walla. We should be like,
It's so fun. Do we? Well, event absolutely. I will drive everyone. It'll be wonderful.
It's really good. It's really good. But yeah, so look out for events like that because like they're all over the place.
Oh my gosh, all the time.
Take breaks, like we mentioned, the UCAA room. Take breaks, just go have a nap. Go to the game room. Duke just built this new game room on West Campus. That's really really nice. So,
The place with the big windows? Oh,
yeah.
it's so
So
nice.
go to the game room. Go play some Smash. Go play some whatever you're interested in. Rock Band's there. There are lots of computers, like gaming computers there too. Make sure you give yourself time to relax because you will probably end up not being quite as functional if you just work. Now, if that's like, I mean, some people say that works best for them. I mean, fine if you honestly believe that works best for you. However, you want to give yourself time to decompress all the time. So like, take advantage of all those things that are already offered to you. Like, I mean, it's free. Why not?
Work versus rest, man. You gotta make sure you have a balance.
Yeah, definitely.
It's
Just like
important.
take time to literally do nothing.
Yeah,
And not even necessarily, like, you don't need to like, be sleeping or whatever. Sometimes, like, I found that the best use of my time was to, like, go back to my room between my classes and just, like, lay on my bed and just, like, be alone and be quiet and be calm. Especially if you're, like, anything like me in that you feel like your social energy can be drained very easily by just, like, you know, talking to people. Like, you know, if you feel like that, you know, then it's really, like, to your best advantage to just spend some time, alone. Like, it doesn't have to be in your room. If you need to, just like go to the library and like take some time for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, speaking on that point, so Francia and I were actually having a cool discussion about this in the car today. I'm from New Jersey. I'm visiting here down here in Potomac, but she really likes, like, she gets energy from spending time by herself, and for me, I'm the opposite. Like, I really love being around people, so I would say for those of you that are more like me, I would do the opposite. So my best friends actually live next door to me in Jarvis, and some of the most enjoyable, like, decompression times would be when the three of us would just spend time together and don't do anything academically related. Sometimes we just talk about our days. Sometimes we would make a fun snack. Like, my friend would pop popcorn and then melt. Judy, this is Juliana and Angela, would melt chocolate on the popcorn and we'd do some stupid things with it. Like, make sure that you know how you personally, like, mental health, emotionally stable-wise, feel better and more energized. Because in all honesty, like, this is speaking also where I get anxiety at times. I don't know if, like, don't be afraid if you get anxiety in college. It is okay. Like, there's a lot going on. Like, you're getting hyperstimulated. And if you have a tendency towards, like, getting anxiety, it's all right to just do the things that you know that help get your mental health nice and stable and calm again, because you will not be able to take your tasks and homework and everything at, like, head dead on the way that you want if you're not composed first. So you need to make sure, like, you are, like, really content with where you're at first before you dive into things. Because I know for me, like, I could go 3 to 4 hours of practice tests over and over and over and over again if I go in with the right mental state. But if I'm not, it might take me, like, 5 hours to try to do 2 rather than, like, 4 to do 4. So you really just got to make sure you're taking care of yourself in that way for sure.
Yeah. Make sure you guys use your RAs as a resource.
Yes, use your RAs. They're awesome. They're wonderful.
You know why you should take advantage of it? That sounded really weird. But you know why you should, like, get to know your RA? Because, and, like, I'm not trying to tune on RAs are people who have gone through all of this shit and yet still want to help you get through your own shit. Like, we've done it before, so we know what works, what doesn't work, and our entire job is to help you and like pass on this advice to you, so that like we didn't go through all this shit for nothing. You know, it's to help you. And so if you really don't like, if you don't get to know your RA, if you don't get to like benefit from all these, then I think that's like that's like kind of a waste.
Also,
of, like, all your tuition money.
Even just speaking,
because you're paying us.
True. Even just speaking in terms of upperclassmen, do not be afraid to reach out to upperclassmen in some of the activities you're going to get involved in. Like, don't expect necessarily an 100% turnover of super helpful people, but you will be surprised at the friends you'll make, first of all, and also the answers you'll get. Because honestly, some of my best friends are actually rising seniors this year, and it's just because don't be afraid to literally just make friends in all of those senses, because upperclassmen will always help you. Like, I always tell this funny story that actually one of my best friends is a rising senior in the youth group that I do. Her boyfriend was studying abroad in Argentina during the fall, which was their junior year this past fall semester, and he was literally texting me for help with my courses because I had questions from Argentina. Like, you just never know who's actually going to be willing to help, so don't be afraid to seek out those connections.
True that.
Yeah, do that.
Ask me for help. I'll help you.
Ask your RAs first before your facts.
Unless your fact is Melody, then don't ask him at all.
Your
That's
fact will be Melody.
disrespectful.
Melody doesn't have any flacklets anymore.
Yeah, Melody doesn't do 15 billion activities on campus. He can't help you with stress.
Melody.
All right,
talk
what
himself
else?
up a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think if anything, I would just like to emphasize that, like, college, like, as much as it is a time for you to, like, go out and, like, broaden your social circle and, like, make connections with, like, professors and, academic, like, resources and make new friends and join whatever, like, above all else, like, prioritize yourself, because it's so easy to get caught up in what you think you should be doing or what everyone else is doing and what you want to be doing. Just, like, take time off for yourself. Mental health is also like a big
I was literally just starting
to
talk about that.
Yeah, make sure you above all else, like, prioritize yourself. That's
Also,
most important.
It's okay in college. I think so I'll speak on this more personally. At Duke, especially, I think it's easy to think that a lot of people have certain priorities, and for me at least, like, I know that I do not necessarily share the same priorities as some of my friends. And it can be stressful. Honestly, like, for me, it was a form of stress in the fall semester, because academically I wasn't necessarily shooting for or doing the same as some of my the other students on campus. And so in terms of just like mental health and everything, like, recognize that your priorities are your priorities. And it's okay that your priorities are different than maybe a friend of yours' priorities. And that you need to do, like Francia was saying, like, you need to respect what you personally want, not in a selfish way, but in just a very respect yourself way. Because you might need to funnel more energy into a different area of your life, just like the person next to you needs to funnel it into their highest priority of their life. And you don't like feel intimidated maybe if somebody wants to be this high-end surgeon and you really have a heart to do something that maybe doesn't get you as much money or maybe won't get you as many accolades. Like, you need to do what's right for you in that sense. And I think it's very easy at Duke at times to see how incredible some of the people are and how accomplished, to get overwhelmed by that or feel insecure about it.
Like you're underachieving.
Exactly, like you're underachieving. When at the end of the day, like, you are at Duke. Like, that in itself is an incredible statement. And also the fact that you want to do what you want to do is very important. Like, you have a heart for what you prioritize, and it's also up to you to then use those convictions and execute it in the way that's best for you, not for someone else.
Yeah. So, in summary, do you.
Yeah, for real. Wow, you pulled that quote.
Life lessons from Kat and Fran.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
it's so true.
Eventually, you're gonna like get old, and you're gonna be like, "Wow, like I wasted all this time to be this like fake person, and now I'm fake, and now I'm not myself," and you're gonna regret it.
Or I'm like in a job I
just,
don't
like,
want, because no, do what you
You
want.
know, like Melania Trump said, be yourself. Everyone else is taken.
Don't kill Melania.
feel the burn.
That's so funny.
Okay. Well, now it's 9:31. So do you guys have, like, I think if we closed out on just the be yourself quote,
That's a great quote to end on.
Yeah.
drop the mic.
Melania's best quote.
Don't be.
Thanks to our queen, right? She said she knows the right things to say always. Shout out to her. Love her.
I don't know where she gets it from. But
Yeah.
I don't know where she gets it from either. Her brain's just so good at
like
things
bless my soul.
and words and speeches and phrases, you know?
Pulitzer Prize,
My
goddammit.
go-to inspiration.
All right, last words of wisdom before we close out this chat.
That's it. Do you, because everyone else is taken. Melania Trump.
Melania Trump.
Always make sure to take care of yourself, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put your. It's okay to put yourself first. Like it's not selfish
There's a difference
to put
between
your needs first.
there's a difference
Sometimes,
between
yeah.
being selfish and taking care of yourself for sure.
Okay. Well, last comment. We're all open to you guys finding us on Facebook, messaging us, finding us on campus, doing come on campus, come meet us, discuss.
Hey, hello. I would love to meet all of you.
Yeah. So, Duke is a wonderful place, and we can't wait for you guys to get here. Okay. Bye.